Hi all. So one point that Trump has been surprisingly on about for the last year is the level of defense spending by other NATO countries. And for Americans, the promise that some of the US's defense budget could actually be saved in their taxpayer dollars is, of course, appealing. But unfortunately, I gotta point out that this just isn't how it works, right? What the US is getting out of NATO right now is an exactly even split with other countries, actually, of actual NATO expenses. To understand that, you have to know that there's a difference, right, between maintaining yourself a standing army as a country and actually paying the logistics fees that are required for NATO to exist as an umbrella, as an administrative umbrella of those countries. And the cost of that administrative umbrella and the cost of that administrative umbrella, as you can see here, is exactly the same, for example, for Germany as it is for the entire US, despite the fact that Germany's GDP is significantly smaller. But the cost of that administrative umbrella is also in the single-digit billions. So what's the rest of American defense spending? Well, the rest of American defense spending is totally voluntary creation of a massive standing military by the US. And if Europe suddenly increased its defense spending to, say, 5% of GDP, which would be more than the US, and built a similarly or larger military powerhouse than what the US chose to build, I don't think that this would be a good reason for the US to decrease its military spending. I mean, especially the way the US is acting right now, right? So, you know what Europe is doing right now with its current spending? It's paying to help supply troops that the US chooses to position all over the world with logistics support. Yeah, that's what the rest of the US is paying for right now, and it's paying the bulk of that cost, while the US is paying simply to have a large military. And there's no way that the US is going to decrease the size of its military, okay? And unfortunately, with the way we see the US diplomacy towards Europe evolving right now, there's no genuine security guarantee that the US and Europe can expect from each other as of right now, as of today, as of yesterday afternoon, with J.D. Vance's speech in particular. So if you're American and you've been hoping for Europe to spend more money on military so that the US doesn't have to, forget it, all right? It's not going to spend less. All right, guys, that's my thought for the moment. I think that at this point, I'm mostly making messages here to help convince other people that might be thinking along similar lines that, you know, you're not crazy. Others are thinking some of the same things you are. And, you know, this is maybe pessimism. Yeah, it's pessimism. But unfortunately, it's not a good time to be too optimistic. Yeah, this isn't a safe time to be too optimistic. You know, it's not over. It's not over yet, like I said a couple of days ago. But we really have to think very critically about what the US is doing right now and what Europe's response needs to be. And, you know, it's worth calling out to the American public that if you're thinking that you're probably thinking about NATO defense spending the wrong way right now. But with that, I still wish you all the best, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.